whoever shows up, shows up. It is what it is. Okay, let's get this show on the road, folks. Welcome officially to the NerdyMark SuperShow. I am, of course, Sid the NerdyMark. Today we have a pretty loaded show today. I was going to say something, and then I said, let's just get through the introduction. Sorry. You have a pretty loaded show today. We're going to be talking about a couple of things. We're going to talk about wrestling and comic book stuff. So we're going to be talking about the episode of Dynamite that aired last night on Saturday, right after the NBA playoffs. Then we're going to talk about, and then we're going to review NXT Takeover 30. And then finally, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the DC Fandome event, which happened last night as well. It was a 24-hour event. It was actually a 7-hour stream, and then they actually looped it twice. But you know what? It was still good. It was still good. We're going to talk about it. But anyway, my coffee's gotten cold, or coffee, as they say it in New York. So let me just finish it real quick. Oh man. Hold on. Get that taste out of my mouth. Okay, so with that in mind, first of all, hope you all are doing absolutely fantastic. I hope that things are going well. I hope everyone is staying safe, and everyone's quarantined. And I know everyone is quarantined right now and whatnot. But hopefully you guys are staying safe. I'm just keeping the stream open so I can read comments. But anyway, with that being said, let's get on with the show. So let's start talking about AEW Dynamite. A lot of big things happened here. Cool stuff happened. It was a fun show. It was a solid show. I think it had some great wrestling. Some storylines were advanced, of course. So let's kind of get into some of the stuff that happened. We of course opened up with FTR versus Private Party, and hold on one second, guys. So yeah, we opened up with FTR versus Private Party, and it was a really good match. As always, it was a fantastic match, which FTR won. Of course, I am always a sucker for seeing the different styles in the ring as far as wrestling is concerned. So that was always really, really good. That's always a good sign. And I also enjoyed seeing Tully Blanchard out there with FTR. Of course, those two won. And then we learned that next week we're having a tag team gauntlet match between the Young Bucks, the Best Friends, I believe Private Party, and one more team. I forget which one it is. I'm sorry. And the Natural Nightmares, I think. Is it Natural Nightmares? I forgot. Anyway, but they get to face off against the number one seed, which is, of course, FTR, because they are still undefeated. And and those people go, and whoever wins that match against FTR goes on to All Out to face off against Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page for the AEW Tag Team titles. Now, it looks like they are poising FTR to take those titles off of Hangman and Omega, and I think that could be interesting. Of course, we did have a bit of a confrontation between Hangman and FTR, who were, of course, with Tully Blanchard again, and obviously they gave him a beer and calmed him down a little bit, but he still doesn't seem too on board with everything FTR was doing. And let me just move this out of the way because it's distracting me. Anyway, but it was interesting. Obviously, it is going more and more towards the formation of the Four Horsemen. Looks like obviously FTR is going to be in it. Tully Blanchard is going to be somewhat associated with it. I'm not sure exactly what his role is going to be. Is he going to be a manager? I think he's going to be more of the manager role. He's not going to wrestle. Duh. So that was interesting. But I don't know who the other members are going to be. It looks like Hangman could be a part of FTR. But then again, I mean, there is a little bit of dissension between Hangman and the FTR, so he may not be a part of it. Who knows? It could be. We could end up having FTR, Shawn Spears, and Cody as part of the Four Horsemen. Perhaps I think that Hangman is going to kind of have a run more akin to Stone Cold Steve Austin and just kind of be his own man, which I would be fine with too. I think that Hangman has more than proven himself as a competitor, singles and tag team. I'm just trying to get my hair all straightened. But yeah, and I think that he could very well go into into the AEW World Title picture once again at some point. So that would be really cool, but I'm really interested to see what they do with FTR and Hangman Adam Page and all that good stuff. But we did have a couple of dueling promos. We had Jon Moxley cutting a promo on MJF saying, what are you hiding, basically. And that was a damn good promo. I got my shirt on for John here. Let me back up so you can see it. Paradigm shift, Jon Moxley. Let me pull these down a little bit. But yeah, this was my first ever, like I said, if you didn't know, this was my first ever AEW t-shirt that I ever wore. And by the way, it fits me so much better now because I've been doing the intermittent fasting and exercise. Although I didn't work out this weekend or anything. I didn't work out as much as I wanted to. But anyway, that's another story. Yeah, so Jon Moxley cuts a really good promo. Then MJF comes in, cuts an amazing promo, gives Jon Moxley a run for his money. Both of these men are absolute gold on the mic, okay? Speaking of mics, do you like my new one? It's called the Smart Mic Plus by Sabine Tech. I actually picked it up as a birthday present for myself. I gave the Blue Snowball to my parents because apparently Blue Snowball doesn't like, because my MacBook doesn't like the Blue Snowball for some reason, but it likes this because it's Bluetooth. Yeah, but it's really cool. I hope you guys can hear the audio. If you're listening, let me know how the audio quality is. Anyway, but with that being said, MJF basically, the line of the century is he wants to grow up and get married and have kids, and his son is going to ask him if he'll play ball, and he would say no because I'm crippled, and he like gets him so emotional, and his lawyer puts out a petition to ban the paradigm shift. That was crazy, man. That was awesome. I loved every single bit of it. MJF, again, continues to show why he is one of the biggest up-and-coming stars in all of, not just AEW, in all of pro wrestling. Some good stuff there. I thought it was just absolutely amazing. He's an amazing guy on the promo, but then we had a tag team. We had an 8-man tag match, Jurassic Express, which featured the Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, along with the Natural Nightmares, QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. They took on the Lucha Bros and the Butcher and the Blade. This was okay. I didn't really care much about this match. It was good for sure. Lucha Bros got to do their Lucha stuff, which is always a great thing. And of course, it was always great to see Lucha Bros back. I'm always getting concerned about them, especially with this pandemic. I'm always getting concerned. Every time I don't see them for a very long spell, I get a little worried for the Lucha Bros. I'm like, oh no, what's going on? Travel restrictions? Did one of them get COVID? Oh my God. Because already Pac, their third member of Death Triangle, isn't around. So that's weird. It's not weird. I understand why, obviously, but that sucks. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. And anyway, so we had the good guys pick up the win because of a miscommunication between Blade and Pentagon, I believe. Yeah, Blade and Pentagon. Then after the match, we see the four of them arguing. Then Eddie Kingston comes out. Apparently he doesn't know how to dress himself because he can't wear a t-shirt properly. And he comes out and he says, he basically is trying to give them like a motivational speech to unify them. So are we getting a new faction with Eddie Kingston, Lucha Bros, and Butcher and Blade? Because if that's the case, I'm all for it. Although I think we have, of course, we already have enough. I do think that we have some big factions anyway with the Inner Circle and the Dark Order. So I don't know, man. Like, there's also such a thing as too many factions, and also we're getting a faction. We're also getting 4 Horsemen, and now we have this one. So, I don't know, man. Like, there's also such a thing as too many factions, and also we're getting a faction. We're also getting 4 Horsemen, and now we have this one. So, I don't know, man. Like, there's also such a thing as too many factions, and also we're getting 4 Horsemen, and now we have this one. So, I don't know, man. Like, there's also such a thing as too many factions, and also we're getting 4 Horsemen, and now we have this one. So, I don't know, man. Like, there's also such a thing as too many factions, and also we're getting 4 Horsemen, and now we have this one. So, I don't know, man. Like, there's also such a thing as too many factions, and also we're getting 4 Horsemen, and now we have this one. So, I don't know, man. Like, there's also such a thing as too many factions, and also we're getting 4 Horsemen, and now we have this one. So, I don't know, man. Like, there's also such a thing as too many factions, and also we're getting 4 Horsemen, and now we have this one. So, I don't know, man. Like, there's I mean, I think it's a great idea on paper, but I want to see how it plays out because, too many cooks in the kitchen or too many chefs in the kitchen, all that good stuff, right? So I want to see how this plays out. I want to see what they do with it. I mean, obviously they're not going to feature. I mean, obviously it's not going to be like NWO where in WCW where they featured NWO every damn week and people started getting slowly but surely started getting tired of it. But I don't know, because like I said, I understand that they're putting an emphasis on tag team wrestling, but you also need to give me some singles stuff too. Well, that's not it. I get that, but also, again, like I said, too many chefs, spoil the broth, right? So that's the only thing that I'm concerned about, really. So hopefully they're able to figure out how to manage all these different factions. So anyway, with that being said, moving on, we had Tony Schiavone in the ring trying to get a word in with Orange Cassidy, who is, of course, flanked by the Best Friends. Out comes Chris Jericho, who congratulates him on a win, and he says, well, now we both have one win apiece over each other. That means that where I come from, that means we have to have a third match. I guess that's a very slight dig at WWE with their, 50-50 booking and then rubber match, all that good stuff. But of course, I mean, they did the same thing with Pac when Kenny had like that mini feud with Pac, and Pac wanted his rubber match. I mean, so I guess it makes sense, whatever. And Jericho basically challenges Orange Cassidy to a Mimosa Mayhem at All Out, which basically entails a huge tub of mimosa, which is basically orange juice and a little bit of the bubbly mixed together. It's 80 gallons of that in a tub, so you win either by pinfall, submission, or by throwing your opponent into that tub of mimosa. This sounds like something off of Nickelodeon, but I'm gonna hold my reservations. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, okay? I'm not bashing AEW. Look, I have AEW freaking merch, okay? So I'm not talking shit on AEW. I'm just saying this just sounds weird to me. Like, that's all. I'm not used to it. It's new to me, but I'm willing to give it a chance. I mean, both of them. I mean, Chris Jericho essentially is a comedy wrestler, if you think about it, because all his antics are very much more comical than anything. And then he obviously is very good in the ring, so he couples his comedic wrestling with his technical style in the ring. So, I mean, that's there. And so does Orange Cassidy. So it makes perfect sense that these two would be in a match like this. But still, I just couldn't help but think Nickelodeon. Like, seriously. I mean, when I heard about this. But it should still be good. It should still be a fun match. So, and I think that's the whole idea with this is, giving us a fun match. Like, the Stadium Stampede, that was amazing, And, of course, this is a much smaller scale match in comparison to the Stadium Stampede. But if he did what he could do with Stadium Stampede, I have faith in Chris Jericho that this is going to be amazing. So he can pull off. I know my boys Tim and John are big Chris Jericho marks, so if I talk shit on Chris Jericho, they'll crucify me, and that's fine, but this is my opinion. But again, I can't help but think Nickelodeon. That's all I'm saying. I mean, like, come on. Like, it's like Slimed, or whatever that show was, like, where they dump slime on you. I mean, it feels like it at least. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I haven't watched enough Nickelodeon. I was more of a Cartoon Network and PBS guy anyways. But, whenever I did watch Nickelodeon, I just saw people getting, thrown into a vat of green gunk or whatever. And so, that's just me. Anyway, so let's move on, though. But, still excited for All Out. Let's see what the Mimosa Mayhem entails. Then we had the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, the original Elite, taking on the Dark Order, which was, of course, 5 Silver and Reynolds. So this was a fine match. It was good for what it was. Kenny Omega and the Bucks obviously working like a well-oiled machine throughout this match. But With the Dark Order definitely not being pushovers, they're absolutely giving the Elite a run for their money, and it's fantastic. I love it. So the match finally ended when Kenny Omega hit the One-Winged Angel after an assisted an assisted Meltzer driver by the Bucks, and then of course a One-Winged Angel by Kenny Omega to John Silver, and then he goes out and gets a chair and tries to beat the shit out of John Silver because he's freaking pissed. I really think that Kenny wants to clean up the competition, I'm really excited to see this, descent into insanity for Kenny Omega. I wonder what's going to happen. I mean, the cleaner character could return. I would be fine with that. Or you just give him a whole new persona. I mean, either or. Kenny Omega, honestly, is one of the most underrated people on the microphone. That's the one thing I've had to say about Kenny Omega. In Japan, he used to cut he cut a lot of my favorite promos, okay? He used to cut some damn good promos. A lot of people who just watched him from AEW were like, oh, he's not that good on the mic. No, go watch his promos from New Japan, and then come back and we'll compare notes. So I think that if Kenny Omega gets this new personality, please give him some time on the microphone. I mean, he's an amazing wrestler. It's been established. But people need to see that Kenny can go on the mic. Like, when I first heard Kenny Omega and I saw him wrestle, I felt like he was a combination between the Ultimate Warrior and Jake the Snake Roberts. Ultimate Warrior because, of his charisma in the ring, and and Jake the Snake Roberts because of his more subdued promos. So I really hope we see something like that in the near future. I'm excited to see what they do. I mean, is he going back to the cleaner persona, or is he just going to come back with another personality? Either way, I'm excited. Either way, I think it's going to be good. So, looking forward to that. Let's move on. We got Darby Allin taking on Will Hobbs, who he beat after a pretty decent match, but the real story came afterwards when Taz got up and got on the microphone and said, hey, we got a new recruit on the Taz train or whatever. His name is also Darby, and out comes Ricky Starks dressed up as Darby Allin, cutting an amazing promo, and then he comes and beats the shit out of Darby Allin with the help of Brian Cage, the FTW champion. And looks like we're continuing this feud between Ricky Starks and Darby Allin. I guess we're getting a match between them at All Out. I'm fine with that. So that was cool. I'm liking Ricky Starks. I've liked him in NWA, and I'm liking him here too. So then we had Matt Hardy murdering Sammy Guevara, and this means that next week we're getting a tables match between the two. I hope Sammy Guevara knows a very good pallbearer, because he's going to need it after what Matt Hardy puts him through. I don't know if this is, they said it's going to be for next week, but I would think you would put it on All Out, because that would make a lot of sense. But hey, it is what it is. Then we had, of course, the finals of the Deadly Draw tournament. If you haven't been following, I've been actually doing live reactions to the Deadly Draw on my Instagram, so go check it out there if you haven't already. But it's been a very fun tournament throughout, so I'm really looking forward. So this is awesome. But Diamante and Ivelisse took on the Nightmare Sisters. Obviously, Brandy more concerned about promoting Lil Bran, her action figure. She's the only woman in AEW with an action figure, and obviously that gets under the skin of Allie. Allie's kind of like the one doing a lot of the work, while Brandy kind of like, she still fights, she still wrestles, but Allie's the one kind of, being the real MVP in this match. I think it was good, but finally I think the right people won, Diamante and Ivelisse, and the coronation was cool because they gifted them flowers, and they had their respective flags too. Both women threw the flowers down and picked up the flags. They're like, yeah, body cool, all that good stuff. And I think that if ever in the future Santana and Ortiz break off of the Inner Circle, they should join these two ladies and have a faction there, you know? That could be a good faction. I know what I said about factions early on, but, I mean, this is just perfect, though, you know? So, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it does, I wouldn't be too unhappy. You know, I wouldn't mind whatsoever. But what does this mean for the Nightmare Sisters? I think that I do think that there's going to be some dissension. I really want Dark Alley. Like, I really want I know I've said this a lot. I reacted to this video, and every time I've seen Brandy and Alley together, I've always said that I want Dark Alley, because, let me explain. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of Impact, but I remember following the storyline with Dark Alley, Rosemary, and the Undead Queen, Su Yung. And, now she's Susie now, which honestly is a lot creepier, frankly. Anyway, that was a really cool storyline. And of course, Jordynne Grace and Kiera Hogan got involved too. This is before Kiera Hogan turned heel. I don't know when she turned heel, but she did. Anyway, so this was really good, you know. And it was really good stuff, and I really want to see a little bit more of that. I mean, I know we have a lot of dark characters already in AEW, but Dark Alley would be fine. She doesn't need to join the Dark Order. Let her just go do her own thing. That's all. But, you know, I really want to see something like that down the line. You know, hopefully Dark Alley versus Brandy, that's a match we get at some point. As long as, you know, Impact isn't all anal about it and decides to say, oh, you know what, we're not gonna let you use it. That would suck. That would suck so bad. Anyway, so then we finally get our main event, Cody versus Brody Lee for the TNT title. First of all, I'll just say that this was a very short match, which I don't understand. I mean, I understand why, because, you know, it was like 7:22 by the time that this was over. Like, it started at 5 for me, or 6 if you're Central Time. It was already like 7:22, or, you know, I guess 8:22 if you're in EST time by the time the match started, and, you know, so the match went for like 8 minutes. In that 8 minutes, Brody Lee destroys Cody and wins the TNT Championship. So Brody Lee is your new TNT champion. Now, I'm not going to lie. In the beginning, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But the more I'm thinking about it now, the more I'm happy about it. I think it's cool. I mean, Cody's had a good run with the title. I want to see what a heel champion does, heel TNT champion does down the line. So, I mean, I guess at this point, we need to see some more, like, I guess at this point, we're going to have a bigger man take it off of Brody Lee, because that's the match I really want to see. Hope maybe Luchasaurus, who knows. You know what I realized? I think Luchasaurus is the only big guy on AEW that's a babyface. Okay? Think about it. Brody Lee's a heel. Jake Hager's a heel. Brian Cage is a heel. Who else is a big guy on AEW? Shit. I don't know. Yeah, but most of the big guys on AEW are heels. I believe that, Wardlow's a heel, you know? So I think that, I mean, Luchasaurus is like the one face who's a big guy on AEW, which is crazy. I mean, if you want to count the Butcher as a big guy, or a Haas or whatever, yeah, but again, heel. So I think we need to start. Lance Archer is a heel. So, you know, unless Lance Archer is going to be one of those characters who just doesn't give a shit whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, and he just wants to kill you, you know, because everybody dies, remember? So, yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with that. But, I mean, I think they really need to start turning some of these bigger guys face. Like, I think they're starting to hint at a face turn very subtly with Wardlow. So we'll see with that. But, anyway, congratulations to Brody Lee, the new TNT champion. And then afterwards, they took Cody out on a stretcher, but he got the shit beaten out of him by Brody Lee in the Dark Order. Brandy came in to make the save, and then Anna Jay looks like she is fully all in with the Dark Order. She puts Brandy in a rear naked choke and chokes her out. And, of course, the Dark Order stand tall. And next week, we're going to get a medical update on Cody. AEW airs on Thursday next week. So that's pretty cool. I'm actually okay with that, frankly, because, then that way I don't have to worry about missing a show. Missing a show or watching a show late. I can just be like, oh, okay, Wednesday I can watch NXT, Thursday I can watch AEW. Honestly, I wouldn't mind that, frankly. Like, that's just me. I actually wouldn't mind if either AEW or NXT moved to Thursdays. That's just me, okay? It's just a little easier for me to watch both shows when they're, when the iron is hot, right? So anyway, that's just me. But overall, solid show by AEW. Did a good job. Very much looking forward. Next week we do have the Go Home show before All Out. So very excited to see all the madness and mayhem that's going to happen there. But with that, let's move on to NXT Takeover 30. I did a couple of reactions to this as well on Instagram. I reacted to the North American title match as well as the NXT title match. NXT Takeover 30, let's just say this. Very good show. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I don't think there was a bad match on the card. Some matches were good. Some matches were really good, And some matches, we'll talk about one I'll talk about it when I talk about it. But anyway, NXT Takeover 30, let's get into it. Well, let me drink some more water first. Oh boy, I think I'm due for another haircut. Anyway, so let's get into NXT Takeover 30. We had five matches on the main card, one match on the kickoff or pre-show. So let's talk about that first. This was the tag team title. This was the triple threat tag team match. For the number one contender to Imperium's NXT tag titles. We had Legado del Fantasma versus Breezango versus Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. Excuse me, jeez. Good match here, really, really good stuff. I think this match didn't get enough time to breathe just because it was on the kickoff show. So, it didn't really have that time to shine. I definitely want to see a match again between all three of these teams, where maybe you can give them at least another 15, maybe give them at least another 5 minutes so that they can, oh man, my mustache, sorry, another 5 minutes to, really, like I said, to really settle in and really, give it that time to brew and just, give it, just live up to its potential. So this was a fine match, though. I thought it was great. Breezango finally picked up the win, and as I predicted, although like I said, I was rooting for Legado del Fantasma because, again, I really want to see stables hold all the gold. Perhaps what I'm thinking is Breezango take it off of Imperium, and then Legado del Fantasma take it off of Breezango, and then we finally have Legado del Fantasma with all the gold, or at least, each member of Legado del Fantasma holding a title. You need every stable. You need something. You always need that. You need with every stable. You need a moment where that stable is holding all the gold. Just to establish their dominance. Like what they did with the Undisputed Era. They had them hold every single piece of gold for a good amount of time. And so yeah. Anyway, but fine match here. Obviously, nothing spectacular happened here, but it was good. Okay, it was fine. That's all I'll say. It was a good match. But let's get to our main show, and the first match on the card was cool Finn Balor, the Prince. There you go. The Prince, Finn Balor taking on Thatch's Thatch can Thatch. How much Thatch can Timothy Thatch if Timothy could Thatch? I'm sorry, that got away from me. Anyway, Timothy Thatcher versus Finn Balor. awesome match here. Finn Balor, I have not seen him work this style for a long time. I don't think I've seen him work this style ever, really. A lot of psychology here, a lot of technical stuff here. Timothy Thatcher continued to keep Finn Balor grounded. He did a great job of that. Finn Balor continuing to show the grit, continuing to just still push through and, till the very end in this match. He even hit a coup de grace, but it didn't really work on Thatcher. He finally had to put away Timothy Thatcher with a 1916, and even that was a very, desperate-looking one. So, absolutely, Timothy Thatcher, basically had injured Finn Balor's leg and even tried to go for his arm, and that was cool. And by the way, I noticed this a while back. I'm just saying it now. Finn Balor's got that big old arm sleeve back right there, kind of like the one he used to wear in New Japan, and even a little bit on the main roster. But he's got that thing back. It looks really cool. I think it's only a matter of time before we see the Demon Balor come out sometime soon. Please, why are they not giving us Demon Balor? I know why, because they're waiting for fans. Yeah, and that makes sense. That's fine. So for right now, let him just go ahead and continue as the Pranks for a little bit. But either way, Finn Balor, afterwards, he apparently celebrated with beer and donuts. So, Finn Balor's cool. Cool people eat beer and donuts, drink beer and eat donuts. So be like Finn Balor, drink beer and eat donuts. Anyway, whatever. Again, Finn Balor is everything that I want to be, but I'm not. So I love you, Finn. Anyway, so yeah, but this was a freaking awesome match. This was really good. The thing with Balor, from what I've seen so far with him in TakeOver, he usually is delivering the sleeper hits. Whether it was him against Gargano, him against Matt Riddle, whether it was him versus Riddle, him versus Gargano, him versus Priest, and now him versus Thatcher. He's delivering all these sleeper hits. He's done the main event thing for years now. I think now he's kind of more focused on, bringing up, really bringing up and coming stars on NXT to the limelight and really showcasing what they can do. Even if they do lose, now, we'll talk about Damian Priest in a sec, but now, people kind of see what Timothy Thatcher is all about. We've been able to see it, but now Timothy Thatcher, we're going to keep our eyes on him because, hey, he went toe-to-toe with Finn Balor and gave the man a run for his money. Balor won, but Thatcher still looks good in defeat, and that's what's most important. Making the loser look good in defeat, and I think they did a good job with this match. So, great stuff here. One of my favorite matches on the card. Let's move on. We then had the ladder match for the North American title it was Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes versus Johnny Gargano versus Bronson Reed versus the Velveteen Dream. I'm not going to do the purple thing. By the way, I'm not going to do the purple thing anymore for Velveteen Dream because, you know why. If you don't, look it up. Anyway, I don't want to get into that too much. Just whatever. So, we had some great spots here. This was a fantastic match as well. Now, comparing it to the first ladder match we had for the North American title. No, it wasn't better than that. I would say it was almost there. The first title match was up here, but this one was maybe here. You see, here, right? You see that? Well, just a little gap right there. I just wanted a little bit more, and I don't think it's because they didn't have one more person. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it was because the crowd reactions weren't there. I don't know what it was, but they still weren't able to quite capture the magic of the first ladder match. But again, this was really good. This was fantastic. We had some amazing spots with ladders. We had a point where Cameron Grimes and Dream were working together and just hitting people with ladders. Or was it Damian Priest? I think it was Damian Priest and him. Just hitting everybody with ladders. We had all the heels teaming up. Dream, who is, by the way, a heel now, Grimes and Gargano. Gargano basically had Grimes and Dream go after Priest and Bronson while he climbed up the ladder, which was awesome. Good stuff there. Candice LeRae did get involved a little bit. I think it was Grimes who was going for the title, trying to grab the title, and she jumps and leaps onto Cameron Grimes and knocks the title away. I'm like, are we getting Candice LeRae as the new North American champion now? Can you imagine, though? She uncooks the title and comes down. And she's like, yeah, I'm the North American champion. And then we have Candice LeRae versus Johnny Gargano. Oh, shit. Someone's going to die. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. If you haven't, by the way, they did in the Indies have a match, LeRae and Gargano. If you haven't watched that, if you don't like blood, don't watch it. That's all I'll say. Anyway, but that was good stuff. A lot of cool spots here. We had a spot where LeRae climbed on the back of Bronson Reed, and I think he was on top of the ladder, and he basically just jumped onto Gargano with LeRae on his back. Again, Reed had a great showing in this match, as did everybody else. Well, Cameron Grimes, I don't think he did too much to, really impress me. Well, I mean, Cameron Grimes already impresses me, so he doesn't really have to do much, but, finally we had Damian Priest on the ladder, and, finally we had, I think Cameron Grimes had already, Johnny Gargano, I think, had already unhooked the title, and he was about to slide it out of the little rungs or out of the ring, but Damian Priest had come in, and they both were snatching the title. He knocks Johnny Gargano off the ladder, and he claims the North American Championship. So Damian Priest is your new North American Champion, and you know what? I'm happy for him. This is awesome. I think that finally they're showing that. Finally they're seeing that Damian Priest is someone to look out for. And, I think he's going to do some great stuff in the mid-card, in the North American title scene. All four of these guys you see here, I would love to see a singles match with all four of them. Actually, even Dream. Like, despite everything going on, Damian Priest versus Velveteen Dream would be cool. Can you imagine the entrances? Damian Priest in a freaking limo with a bunch of beautiful women. Then a freaking Velveteen Dream on his little weird couch with a bunch of beautiful women. And we have all the girls, and then you have all those girls in the freaking ringside, and they all brawl. Can you imagine? Like, there would be a lot of girls in that. Oh my God, I'm so terrible. Anyway, but we did have a good, cool celebration where he was just like in the hot tub, and Joey Janela's girlfriend was in it. That my buddy Tim said that was Joey Janela's girl. That's pretty cool. That's interesting. And yeah, that was pretty awesome, though. I thought Damian Priest winning was great. I was going for Bronson Reed, but you know what? It's fine. If Bronson Reed is the one who takes the title off of Damian Priest, I wouldn't mind that one bit. But congrats to Damian Priest. I think it's well deserved. He's quickly climbed up the ranks in NXT, and I think that this is a great way to catapult him into the NXT title picture down the line. Oh, shoot. All right, hold on one second. I need to fill up my water again. But we'll talk about the next match. Let's get into the next match. Oh yeah, hold on. Oh boy, no, I need some water for this. Oh, I overfilled it. Hold on. I always get the lids mixed up. All right, so Adam Cole, baby, versus Pat McAfee. This match was a lot better than it had any right to be. Okay? I'm not going to lie. I was very skeptical about this one because celebrity matches. And why is Adam Cole... it almost felt like a fall from grace for Adam Cole, in my opinion. And then this happened. And you know what? It was a pretty good match. It was good. Pat McAfee impressed me. Like, good job, dude. Like, that was awesome. You did good. I mean, no, I'm not saying put a title on him. Absolutely not. But he did good. He did a good job. So, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. He was very good in this ring. Absolutely kept Adam Cole on his toes. Adam Cole, of course, reciprocating with everything. But this match really made me miss Mauro Ranallo because there were points when Adam Cole hit an Ushigoroshi, and I didn't hear anyone call and be like, oh, Ushigoroshi. I didn't hear backstabber. I didn't hear last shot, Panama Sunrise. I didn't hear that. What are you doing, Corey Graves? It's right there. Why can't you say the name of the freaking move? I mean, come on, man. Like that's unacceptable. They need to freaking do that, okay? I mean, especially with Adam Cole, because he has some of the coolest freaking moves I've ever seen. So I need to see that. Anyway, but Pat McAfee at one point did a flip, kind of was on the turnbuckle with Adam Cole, and he flipped off the freaking turnbuckle into the middle of the ring with it on his feet. That was pretty impressive, I'm not going to lie. So, and of course, but finally, Adam Cole did hit him with the Panama Sunrise to win the match. Thank God. I don't ever want to see this match again, though, just because I don't really think celebrity matches have a place in NXT. That's just me. This one was good, though. Of course, if you can do it like this, fine. But if you're going to give me some bullshit, then don't do it, Like, friggin', I don't want freaking Sofia Vergara showing up and attacking Rhea Ripley, or what's her name, Raquel Gonzalez, and, saying, that she wants a match. I don't want that. I mean, I don't know where Sofia Vergara came from. It's just the first celebrity that popped up into my head. Why? I don't know. It just is. Fine match here. This was a pretty good match, and like I said, a lot more impressive than I thought it was going to be. So, good job, NXT. You pulled it off. Then we get the penultimate match, Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai, an actually good competitive match compared to the last one. So I feel like that one was like the kind of breather match that we needed, and then this one came in because we saw two intense matches. Well, one match on the pre-show, but two intense matches on NXT Takeover, and I guess we needed like a breather match. So I'm kind of glad that it was like kind of in the middle, and it served its purpose. McAfee versus Cole, that is. This one was really, really good. Raquel Gonzalez was in the match, of course. Dakota Kai is fantastic. Io Shirai is fantastic, and I think that these two absolutely gave us, a run. Really gave us a very good barn burner of a match. So this was definitely a great match. Like, I am so impressed with how the NXT has, with the women's division has come in NXT, because the women's title matches were the matches that I used to be least looking forward to, or they would be the ones that would be like in the middle and, be kind of like the breather for the upcoming two matches. And that kind of sucks. That kind of sucked. But now I think they're making it a bigger deal because, we have some damn good we have a stacked women's roster on NXT. And by the way, I forgot to mention on AEW, we did have Thunder Rosa challenging for the AEW women's title against Hikaru Shida at All Out. That is going to be crazy. See, this is what I want to see from the women's division in AEW. These type of stars. That's the shit I want to see. This is definitely, again, AEW's women's division is getting better. Absolutely. But right now, NXT, and I guess Impact, I can't speak for Impact because I don't watch it, but from what I've heard, Impact has like a freaking stacked women's division as well. But NXT is doing a great job, and I'm guessing Tessa Blanchard is going to come down to NXT sometime. So then, there you go, some more legitimacy, I guess. But despite her whole racist comments and all that crap, I mean, she's still a good wrestler, so there's that. Anyway, overall great match. Finally, Io Shirai puts away. At one point, Io Shirai hits a Komagoye onto Dakota, which is Kota Ibushi's finisher. That was freaking awesome. I loved that. Her Evil is her husband, from what I've heard. So I guess he's like, yeah, hey, use my boy Ibushi's move. whatever. I mean, she's doing a lot. Like, I've seen Io now with her title matches. She's doing a lot of stuff. She's doing a lot, like, paying a lot of homages to New Japan. Like, when she won the title, you know, and the streamers were falling on her, she stuck her hand out like this, kind of like what Okada would do. And now she's hitting a Komagoye onto onto Dakota Kai. So I'm interested in seeing what they're doing with this. You know, this should be interesting, and you know, it's going to be, yeah. So that's pretty cool. But finally, we did have Io Shirai pin Dakota to win the match, and then afterwards, we had Raquel Gonzalez attack Io Shirai, and out came Rhea Ripley to make the save, and obviously Rhea does want another shot at the title. So Io versus Rhea is definitely a match that I'm looking forward to, you know, especially if it's for the NXT Women's title. It's definitely a match I'm looking forward to, so that's going to be good. Finally, we have our main event. We have the NXT Championship title match. We have Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross. Keith Lee is not a happy camper. Keith Lee is, the smile from Keith Lee seems to be permanently gone from his face, and that means that the world is ending. So, this was a very emotionally charged match, and, you know, this was just an amazing, this was really good. I really thought that they pulled it off here. Like, as far as the wrestling itself, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't really the talking point of this match. The talking point of this match is the story between Keith Lee and Karrion Kross, and everything that Karrion Kross has been putting Lee through over the past few weeks, and how Keith Lee tries to bounce back from it. You know, let me do this so you can see the shirt even better. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to say, man, like, this match had such a serious tone to it. Like, all the other matches had some element of, like, fun in it. This was not fun. This was a freaking war between Kross and Lee. And it looks like Kross was the better man because he's the strategist. He went for a more strategical, more procedural approach to leading up to this match. And Lee was just pure emotion. He just wanted to murder Karrion Kross. And Karrion Kross, by the way, and I said this in my stream, if they ever decide to actually, if Hollywood ever finally decides to make a good movie for the Hitman video game franchise, definitely put Karrion Kross as Agent 47 because he's perfect for that role. You know, like, yeah. And finally, of course, Karrion Kross does hit a super Doomsday Saito to win the match and become your new NXT champion. I'm happy with this, but I'm also like, wow, why did they make... But that means I'm also wondering what is next for Keith Lee, because they made him... Because essentially Keith Lee was a transitional champion, if you really think about it. And does this mean Lee is going up to the main roster? Because, you know, we've heard rumors that Vince McMahon is very hot on Keith Lee. So Lee could very well be going up to main at some point, which I'm fine with, because unlike every other NXT talent that has gone up to main roster or Raw and SmackDown, I think Lee actually would do well there. Because, you know, oh, big boy, like Brock Lesnar said, right? I think Keith could do some good stuff in the main roster for sure, if they book him right. I think Lee versus Braun Strowman would be a good match. Lee versus Otis. Can you imagine the antics that would happen in that? Like, that would be so cool. Lee versus Otis would be cool. So, I mean, you have some decent matches you can have on Raw or on SmackDown. Like, hell, Lee versus, I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura would be fine. I mean, that's an interesting pairing, but yeah, I mean, you can do some cool stuff with Keith Lee, I think. On Lee versus Bobby Lashley, that's the match I want to see for sure. So I think, like I said, if Keith Lee is going to the main roster, that's fine. That is absolutely fine, and I'm all for it. But Karrion Kross, man, what is next for Karrion Kross? I don't know. I think, obviously, they even had a promo for Tommaso Ciampa returning this Wednesday. I'm guessing he's going for Goldie. I'm guessing he's going to be the one to take it off of Kross at some point. Although I think Kross should have, I think we should build up Tommaso Ciampa once again, and then eventually have him go back for Goldie and become a 2-time NXT champion. That would be ideal, you know. So, like, this match was, like I said, it was a war. It was emotion just spewing out of Keith Lee, while Karrion Kross, for the most part, kept his cool and kind of knew what he had to do to dismantle the big man, Keith Lee. And here we are. The new NXT champion is Karrion Kross. So, yeah. But overall, NXT Takeover 30, really good show. Fantastic show. Like I said, I don't think there was a bad match on the card. I just think some matches could have been better, but they were still good for what they had. Like, for example, the ladder match was probably one of the best matches I've seen so far. I think my favorite matches were definitely the ladder match. I mean, this match was good, but I think the ladder match was a little bit better, as well as Timothy Thatcher versus Finn Balor. Those are my matches of the night. My final rating for NXT TakeOver 30, a big, emphatic thumbs up. All right. We're done with all the wrestling stuff, so let's move on to the fun stuff. We had the DC Fandome event, this running for 24 hours yesterday on Saturday. The whole thing was like a 7-hour show, but so I didn't really watch every single bit because it was 7 hours of content. And I'm sorry, I don't know if you are sitting there and watching 7 hours of content, you're either really insane or really patient or a really devoted DC fan. So and I commend you either way. But I was able to I only basically stayed for the panels and stayed for the announcements that I wanted to see. And I have a bunch of them here. So let me just pull up my little list here. First of all, I will say that the whole event itself was really cool. Like they made an actual dome, like a fan dome type thing. I actually thought it was going to be more of an interactive thing where you could actually click on the different verses and kind of talk about, kind of see, all the different videos there and whatnot. That would have been cool, but it's okay. It is what it is. It was still fun. It was still a great thing to see. It was still a really fun event from whatever I saw. And, it was absolutely impressive. Like, the whole Fandome concept was really, really interesting. And, I liked it a lot. So kudos on the presentation from DC Comics for sure. This one, before I get into some of the stuff that I want to talk about, this right here absolutely rejuvenated my faith in DC Comics again, because I was not very impressed. I mean, because I think, DC with their films have been pretty hit or miss, okay? Like Batman v Superman, I'll tell you this. I actually enjoyed Batman v Superman. Well, okay. I thought Batman v Superman had potential, although I think it was buried under a lot of fat, and I think that it could have benefited from trimming down some of that fat, because towards the end of the movie, it started feeling more like a 2.5-hour trailer for Justice League. Suicide Squad was not good. I didn't like Suicide Squad. I was very disappointed with it, and I thought it could have been so much better. Then along came Justice League. Well, then along came Wonder Woman, which was really good, and it gave me some hope for the DC Extended Universe. And then they did Justice League, and I was like, oh, what happened? And then, of course, we'll talk about Justice League in a sec. And then they had Aquaman, which was really good. And then they did Shazam, which was fine. But Yeah, and you see how the track record for DC has been pretty hit or miss. So that was my big concern with DC Comics in film, because video games, animated shorts, animated films, DC is king at this point. Compared to Marvel, DC is way better in that aspect. But right now, Marvel is killing it with the MCU. It is about time for DC to bounce back. It is about time for them, and I'm glad that they kind of hit the restart button. And they're basically asking the fans to give us another chance. And this fan right here is giving you another chance, DC, but show me what you got, is all I'm saying. So anyway, some of the announcements that I really liked. Oh, shoot, sorry. Wrong thing. I was trying to open up my notes, but I'm opening up a bunch of other shit, instead. Let's talk about Wonder Woman 84. They revealed a new trailer for it. Wonder Woman 84. Very, very impressive. Very good trailer here. Obviously, Chris Pine's character is alive. I keep forgetting his name. It's Steve, right? It's Steve. Chris Pine's character, Steve, is alive. Not Steve Rogers. Steve something else. I forget. Leave it in the comments below if you remember what Chris Pine's character's name was, because I don't want to look it up right now. Excuse me. But he's alive, and it looks like they're going to be working a lot more closer together. Since, in the first Wonder Woman movie, he was, obviously busy tangling with his feelings for Diana, and also leading his own, squadron in the military. But Steve and Diana get to be a little bit more intimate in this movie, and they get to, work together a little bit better. So I'm excited for that. And of course, Kristen Wiig as Cheetah. The Cheetah outfit looks pretty cool. It definitely does not look like something from the Cats movie. Looks a lot better, absolutely. So I'm looking to see what Kristen Wiig does as Cheetah. Looks like Pedro Pascal is also in the movie, and he's also one of the villains. So I don't know what villain he is, but he is in the movie. So that's going to be cool. I'm looking to see what he does there. But Wonder Woman 84, the first Wonder Woman was really good, and I was very impressed with it. So I can only imagine what they're going to do with this new one. Moving on, let's talk about the Justice League. Let's talk about the Snyder Cut. So the Snyder Cut has a long history. It's been going on because, for those who don't know, a little history for you guys. So Zack Snyder, after he had finished, after shooting, I believe shooting was done for Justice League, and Zack Snyder had to leave the project. Some people say it's because his daughter passed away, but some people also said that he got fired from Justice League. I don't know I don't know exactly the truth between either of those. I mean, if his daughter died, that sucks, and I'm very sorry for his loss, but I do hope he wasn't fired. So anyway, but he did leave the project, but somehow something happened and he had to leave the project. They brought in Joss Whedon to oversee the project. Joss Whedon demanded reshoots for the project. Joss Whedon, by the way, famed director for the Avengers movies. And he came in and he basically had reshoots, and that's why Justice League felt more like a knockoff Avengers film, And that's when we had, of course, the graphic, that terrible, scary-looking Superman with the graphic, with the graphics put on his face to cover his mustache. Because at the same time, Henry Cavill was also filming a Mission Impossible, and his character has a mustache, and he couldn't shave it because he was still in the middle of shooting that movie. But they came in and had him do reshoots, and he's got that mustache, and you can definitely tell that it's been patched up with CGI, and it looked really, really bad. So, however, the Snyder Cut apparently boasts of a lot of things that we didn't see in the theatrical film. They gave us a little teaser towards the end. Let's just talk about it. It looks fantastic. It looks amazing. It seems like it's going to be a lot more of a serious tone with the occasional one-liner thrown in here and there. But the tone seems to be a lot more serious. Of course, we're still probably going to get Steppenwolf, but they did show Darkseid in it, and Darkseid looks absolutely badass. And if, honestly, they make another Justice League movie and it does lead to Darkseid being the big bad, I'll be so happy. Because, Darkseid is one of the most powerful characters in all of DC Universe. And in just comic books in general. I mean, people have said that he's stronger than Thanos. So there's that. Right? Thanos has the Infinity Gauntlet, while Darkseid has the anti-life equation. And the anti-life equation is pretty dastardly. Now, I do have to read up a little bit more on it, but you can look it up too. Basically, it is a lot like if Thanos snaps his fingers. That's all you need to know. But it's a lot worse than if Thanos snaps his fingers. But Darkseid looks good. We're getting Black Suit Superman, which is awesome. It looks great. The black suit looks great. They should have had it in the original cut, but frickin' Joss Whedon. God damn it, Joss Whedon. Like, seriously, what the hell? Like, I love what you do with the Avengers, but this is not the Avengers. This is Justice League, damn it. Anyway. Oh, yeah, going back to Wonder Woman 84 real quick, I did want to mention that Diana's costume looks a lot more colorful. So, that just wanted to throw that out there. That was good, though. Anyway, but the Justice League Snyder Cut is coming out on HBO Max September of next year. So almost a year removed from, about a year from today. A little after a year from today, a little more than a year from today. And I'm looking to see what the actual kind of vision of Zack Snyder was. Because, you know what? I actually like Man of Steel as well. That's another movie that gets too much shit, man. Man of Steel is a good movie. Man of Steel I actually really enjoyed. I thought that it was a different take on Superman. Christopher Reeve, look, Christopher Reeve is amazing. Was really good as Superman. He did a lot of wonders for Superman in the original films. If you've not seen any of the original films, go watch them. And don't watch Superman 4. That one was crap. But watch the other ones. Those were good. But Superman, but Henry Cavill was a really good Superman, and I'm glad that and I don't know what his status as Superman is now. I mean, a lot of people said that he's no longer Superman, but I guess they're just saying there's not going to be a Superman film anytime soon is all. But if there is, if it never happens, I guess he'll don the cape again. So that's there. So I think that Snyder Cut looks fantastic. September of next year can't come soon enough, and I can't wait to see it. So yeah, the black suit was great. Darkseid, that's the big thing that got me. Like Darkseid, finally, freaking hell, yes, we actually have Darkseid in this film. Like, come on, man, why didn't you put this guy? I'm thinking he's going to be in a post-credit scene, and it was originally going to maybe lead up to the second Justice League movie that we were going to get. So I think that, like I said, it's great. It's impressive. It's very impressive, and I'm just looking forward to see what they do with this Justice League. And hopefully going forward, this means we get more Justice League films, and we get more. I know Ben Affleck may not be Batman. Well, apparently in the Flash movie, he's coming back and reprising his role as Batman, so that's pretty cool, along with Michael Keaton. So I'm looking to see what they do with that. Let's move on to the Suicide Squad movie. Another thing that I'm really excited for is the Suicide Squad film, directed by James Gunn, who also has been directing the Guardians of the Galaxy series. Let me say this, James Gunn, that's awesome. He's collecting a check from DC and from Marvel because he's also directing the third Guardians movie, which is fantastic. And Suicide Squad, this one they have retained some of the original cast. They have retained Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. Of course, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, because she was literally the best thing about the original one. Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. Okay, fine, whatever. And they kept Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. That's cool. Idris Elba's in the movie as another character. I forget what he's called. He's not Deadshot. He's something else. He's like Dead something else. Dead Spin, Dead something he is. John Cena's in the movie as the Peacemaker, who Cena himself described as a douchey Captain America. So, okay. And we have Pete Davidson in the movie too as a character, as one of the characters. I think it's just a continuation, and I guess they're gonna figure out a way to write off Deadshot and King Croc and all those other characters in the Suicide Squad films. I just want, and I'm excited for this. I just want to care about more characters than Harley Quinn. Okay, Harley Quinn, great. She did great. Margot Robbie was awesome. She did a good job. Hell, even Will Smith as Deadshot did a great job. But you know what? I was more focused on Harley. Not just because she's pretty. Okay, by the way, I mean Margot Robbie's a gorgeous woman, but that's not why. The character of Harley Quinn was the most established in Suicide Squad and even in the Birds of Prey movie, which I still need to watch, but still. And I think that this movie, I hope it does live up to the hype, and I hope that it does give us a very, a much more appropriate rendition of the Suicide Squad. So that's all I can hope for, really. I do hope that that's what we get with Suicide Squad, and that's all I gotta say, man. I mean, I'm just honestly keeping my fingers crossed for this. I mean, I know we have James Gunn on the helm, so he'll do a great job, but still, fingers freaking crossed that this movie is good, and it actually is a respectable rendition of the Suicide Squad. Please, thank you. So, anyway, let's move on. Sticking with the Suicide Squad, we also have a Suicide Squad video game coming out, developed by Rocksteady. Rocksteady are the developers behind the Arkham series, the Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, all those games. And this is called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. From the little cinematic trailer that we got, it looks like Superman has gone rogue, and now they're sending Suicide Squad, aka Task Force X, to put him down. And the lineup for Suicide Squad, the video game, is Harley Quinn, Deadshot, King Shark, and Captain Boomerang. So good luck with that. So I'm really interested to see how they pulled this off. So I am very excited to play this game. It is coming out 2022, which I guess sucks, but it also gives me enough time to buy a PS5 because it's coming out for PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. So PS4 and Xbox One is going to be obsolete by that time. So I might as well wait for a couple years and then pick up the PlayStation 5 then. Unless someone wants to buy me one. You'll be my best friend, or an Xbox, whichever. Anyways, sorry, I'm getting a little tired, but anyway, no, it's fine. I'm so excited, by the way. I am looking forward to this movie, to the Suicide Squad movie, and this video game. This video game looks fantastic, and I just can't wait to play this. Sticking with the video games for a little bit, we have another one coming out called Gotham Knights. And this is taking place in Gotham when Batman is dead, and he has basically left Gotham in the care of the Bat family. So Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, and Red Hood, my boy. Now we have to go and stop all the crazy villains. Looks like the Court of Owls are going to have a play in this game. And they're going to be, I guess, one of the main big bads that we have to take down, the big criminal organization that we have to take down. That would be cool. I also saw a little bit of gameplay. I think it was in like the it was in another phase of completion. It was not exactly in beta, but I think it was pre-beta. I think that's what they called it. That was the phase that this game was in, and it looks really good. The combat again is also similar to the Arkham games, which is fine. I mean, I guess they're kind of keeping it safe by making all these like superhero games, whether it be on Marvel side or DC side. They're keeping it very akin to the combat style we got in the Arkham games, which I think, like I said, is a safe bet, just because that's basically given the framework and and the foundation for these superhero games. So, should they ever decide to make a Superman game, I guess that's what we're gonna get. I am very, very excited for this because, one, I would get to play as my boy Red Hood, because as you all know, Red Hood is my favorite Robin. Jason Todd is my favorite Robin, and Red Hood is my second favorite DC character. And so I can't wait, Although I think that we have to cycle between different characters, because they showed in the gameplay itself, the little bit of gameplay, I think it was like 7 minutes. The gameplay that we saw, they gave us Batgirl. They gave us the gameplay of Batgirl, and it looks really, like I said, it looks great. But of course, Robin also accompanies her, so I guess you can do co-op as well. But yeah, like I think everybody has like their own arc. I'm guessing what's gonna happen is you'll get to play for a little bit as Batgirl, for a little bit as Robin, for a little bit as Nightwing, and finally, of course, a little bit as Red Hood, and all of them finally come together, and we see the culmination of all four of these people, and they take down the Court of Owls. That's what I think the story is going to be. I don't know, obviously, because the game's not out yet, so we'll see. It's coming out next year, I believe, so that's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see a Batman game basically without Batman. So I'm very, very excited for this game. It looks good too. Like the graphics look great, the development looks good, and I can't wait to see it. I mean, if this was pre-beta, I can only imagine what the final product looks like. So I'm excited. Let's move on. Then we got some more a sneak peek of Black Adam, courtesy of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and this was really cool. They're also bringing in the Justice Society of America in the Black Adam film. So we're going to see, Hawkman, Atom Smasher, and many more people part of the Justice Society. Looks like he's going to be in control of the Justice Society of America, Black Adam is. And Black Adam is going to be more of an anti-hero kind of character than like a villain. Because, there are different renditions of Black Adam. In some renditions, yeah, he's a villain. And in other renditions, he is more of an anti-hero. And I'm glad they went the anti-hero route. Black Adam was originally a slave, and then he got the powers, the Shazam powers, the same powers as Shazam. So that's pretty cool. So Black Adam is definitely a very powerful character. He's a very interesting character, and I think that this movie is going to shed more light to him, because I guess it's like, if you like Shazam, get ready for Black Adam, because he's like a much more like, not darker. Well, yeah, he's definitely a darker version of Shazam, not just because his suit is black, but because he's like a more raw kind of a character in comparison to Billy Batson's Shazam, because yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really excited to see, and I think Dwayne Johnson, perfect casting for Black Adam. I think that Dwayne Johnson could not be more perfect. Like, this is exactly who needs to be Black Adam. I don't know anybody else who could have been Black Adam, frankly. So, yeah. So I'm very excited to see what The Rock does with this film, and what he does in conjunction with DC Comics. So yeah, and I loved how in the end, to end it out, The Rock cut a promo on the Justice League. That was awesome. So he's going to come for your titles at WrestleMania, folks. Anyway, and speaking of Shazam, we did get the announcement that Shazam 2 is coming, and we're going to get more of the Shazam family in that movie. That's pretty cool. I like that. Sinbad is going to be involved in it as well, whatever that means, I guess. So that one's exciting. That one's cool. The first Shazam movie, it was a lot more fun, and I guess they tried to make it more, kid-friendly. Because, Billy Batson is a kid. He's a teenager who's basically now trapped in this superhero body because he says Shazam, and there you go. So it's going to be cool. And, of course, Zachary Levi, I was a little bit, I was a little concerned that, about him, because I was like, this can't be Shazam, but no, he pulled it off. He did a good job, because unfortunately, the last movie I ever saw Zachary Levi in was in one of the Alvin and the Chipmunks films. And, look, if you like any of the Alvin and the Chipmunks films, good for you, but just don't bring that bullshit over here, buddy. Just don't. Those are crap, in my opinion. Anyway, the first one, the first Alvin and the Chipmunks was barely tolerable, and then it just got annoying. So that's just all I got to say. Anyway, but yeah, Zachary Levi did a good job in Shazam. So let's see what he does with Shazam 2. But I guess the villain, but I'm also wondering, when will Black Adam and Shazam finally meet, and when will they finally clash, and when will we finally see them just interacting in some way? Although it looks like The Rock, from what he's saying, he looks like he wants Black Adam to interact more with Superman. So are we going to get something akin to the DC short Superman Shazam versus Black Adam? Because that one was really good. Superman, I think it was like Superman and Shazam versus Black Adam. I think look it up it's online. You can look it up. If they're going to do something akin to that, I'm okay with it. Like an extended version of that, that's fine too, because 3 Titans fighting, that's better than 2 Titans fighting, I guess. Anyways, that's pretty cool though. I'm excited to see what they do with the Shazam sequel, as well as Batman, as well as Black Adam. Speaking of Batman, finally, I want to talk about Batman. This is how they ended out DC Fandome. Robert Pattinson as Batman, I'm not going to lie, I was very skeptical, because we saw him as a teenage wizard heartthrob in Harry Potter and Goblet of Fire, and then we saw him as a sparkly vampire in the Twilight series. Now, I have watched a little bit of the Twilight series. I'm not a big fan, but for some reason my mom and dad like the Twilight series. Okay. Ow, my back. Anyway, and a lot of girls in my high school really liked the Twilight series, and they really liked Robert Pattinson. So, but it looks like he's traded in his wizard's wand and the sparkles and all that stuff, and he's finally donning on the bat suit. Let me tell you something. This is probably in the teaser for Batman. Apparently, Matt Reeves said that they've only basically filmed 25 to 30% of the film, but even that just looks so good. My freaking God, this is how you freaking end out that event. Let me tell you, that Batman suit, I'm sold. It looks very similar to what Batman wore in Arkham Knight, although they are apparently following a storyline of Batman Year 2, which is, I guess, makes sense for Robert Pattinson or someone else to don the Batman cowl. Don the Batman suit, sorry. And, yeah, but I think, you know what, I think Robert Pattinson's going to kill it. I hope you get to see a little bit more of the detective skills of Batman, because in all Batman movies, we've seen more of him as the action hero. We've seen more of him as, fighting crime and, kicking ass and whatnot. But I haven't really seen too much of Batman the detective, or Batman the expert of disguise, because Batman is actually a master of disguise, in case you didn't know. I want to see a little bit more of that in this movie. But, oh, man, as you can see, I have a huge smile on my face, because this is exactly what I wanted. My God, kudos to Matt Reeves. Like, you freaking pulled it off, man. Well, okay, I'm not going to celebrate too soon, but from what I'm seeing, this looks very impressive. And we even got a glimpse of Robert Pattinson's Batman voice. Instead of saying, "I am Batman," he says, "I am vengeance." And damn, does it sound good. Oh, my God. It sounds amazing. So, looks like filming is resuming very soon. I mean, obviously the COVID-19 pandemic delayed it quite a bit, but looks like we're getting it soon. It's probably coming out sometime next year, and it seems like the villain in this film is the Riddler. I can't wait. I hope they have a Riddler more akin to what we saw in the Arkham games, especially in Arkham Knight. When Edward Nygma and everything. I really because I watched Batman Forever, and I saw Jim Carrey as the Riddler. He did a good job, but he was basically more comical, and a little bit more out there. I want to definitely see a more subdued version of the Riddler, and kind of more a Riddler that plays mind games with the Batman. More a guy who kind of like really toys with him and is always like seems to be like a smart villain, but of course an equally smart hero. That's what I want to see with this rendition of the Riddler. I hope we get to see Riddler soon, and yeah, man, dude. Oh, I thought DC Fandom was good. I thought it was really good, and then they showed this, and I was like, thank you, there's a God up there, because I cannot wait to see what they do with the Batman. And Matt Reeves is helming it. You know what? I mean, I'm looking forward to see what he does. So that's all I got to say about the Batman. Man, I'm at a loss for words at this point. But anyway, DC Fandom overall, like I said, great show, really good stuff. Very excited for the future of DC across games, across the comics, across films, mainly films, across even the animated shows and movies. Very excited. So yeah, man, that's all I gotta say. I think I should end it right here. So thank you for watching this. Thank you for I don't know if you guys are watching or if you maybe can just listen to it with headphones, whatever. But thank you for watching a NerdyMark SuperShow once again. Hope you guys enjoyed everything. What did you guys think about Dynamite on Saturday? What did you guys think about Takeover 30? And what did you guys think about DC Fandom? And what were some of the things that you were most excited about for DC Fandom? Let me know all that stuff in the comment section below. But until then, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. And stay safe. Take care of yourselves. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.